Hey, what's up, everybody? I'd like to welcome everybody to a brand new edition of the Junebug Report for January 2013. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. In case this is your first time ever hearing me for the first time and you are wondering who in the hell is this dude Junebug Obama, well, you can go to my original YouTube channel, which is also called Junebug Obama. You can check out the videos there. I have over 100 videos there. Still uploading videos on that site. But welcome to my new page. And in this episode of the Junebug Report, I'm going to be talking about some of the controversy surrounding the movie Django Unchained. This movie's been getting a lot of good press, but some bad press also. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm also going to talk about the Shawty Lo reality show that was supposed to be airing on the Oxygen Network. Man, people are offended, and in some ways rightfully so, and maybe in other ways maybe not. We're going to be talking about that. I'm also going to talk about the hit television show Scandal. Black women love Scandal. I mean, they loving this show more than Tyler Perry movies. And I'm going to be talking about an article that came out recently about the show. This article is saying that black women are hypocrites for loving this show so much because black women always talk about how they're portrayed in the media, but for some reason, they don't feel bad about how this character is being portrayed. So I'm going to be talking about that also. That's what's up for discussion today on the show. So let's get started here with Django. I keep saying Django, but we know the D is silent. So Django Unchained. Well, ironically, I haven't seen the movie Django Unchained yet, but understand, I do plan on going to see this movie. At first, I didn't really want to, but now, once I got a feel for what this movie was really about and the premise of the movie, it's a fictitious account, as we know, but the movie's about a black man, played by Jamie Foxx, of course, who is a freed slave who is on a mission to rescue his black wife, played by Kerry Washington. And throughout the course of the movie, he's going to kill up a bunch of white folks and some Uncle Toms too. And don't look at me. I didn't come up with the concept for the movie. Quentin Tarantino wrote, produced, and directed this movie. And some people are saying that he's deliberately trying to stir up the race pot or cause racial tension or friction between the races in this country. And other people believe that he's just a filmmaker trying to come up with an exciting, interesting action-adventure Western, but trying to put a twist to it, trying to put something original along with it to make it different from other Westerns. But this movie, by all accounts, is a box office success. A lot of people are loving this movie. I even read a report that says on Christmas Day, the movie broke a box office record for an R-rated movie. It's the biggest selling, top grossing R-rated movie on Christmas Day. Because I guess on Christmas Day, people typically go to see family-oriented movies. And this is an R-rated movie, and it did extremely well. And the movie's already grossed about $106.4 million domestically. And we haven't even counted what the movie's going to do overseas. And then eventually, of course, it's going to be on Blu-ray and DVD and everything. So this movie is a certified hit. It's going to make a lot of money. Let's get to the controversy surrounding the film. Well, it's to be expected that there was going to be some controversy given the subject matter of the movie. Slavery is a subject matter that just stirs up emotions in a lot of people. Doesn't matter who's directing it. Doesn't matter what type of movie it is, whether it's a documentary, whether it's a fictitious portrayal of it like this movie. Doesn't matter if a black director, white. It's going to stir up emotions because that's a very unpleasant part of our history. So naturally, people are going to have a lot to say about it. And this movie also, it was just inevitable that people are going to be talking about it in some ways positive, in some ways negative, because Quentin Tarantino is directing the movie. And given his track record of how he has dealt with the subject matter of race in some of his films in the past. Some people have a problem with that. And as expected also, Spike Lee publicly made a statement and said that he is refusing to see this movie because he felt that it's disrespectful to his ancestors. And he also felt that slavery is not a spaghetti Western and it shouldn't be made fun of or made a mockery of. So he felt that the movie was something that he was going to bypass, and he caught a lot of flack, a lot of hell for what he said. A lot of people are calling him a hater. And I don't know if I've mentioned this before in any of my other discussions, but I just hate the word hater, because what that word does is it's like it's a way to eliminate people from having an opinion. Even if the opinion is legitimate, people try to shut it down by saying that the person is a hater. And I guess they mean that the person is jealous. And that may be true in some instances, but people overuse the word. They use it anytime anybody has an opinion that's contrary to theirs. I've been called a hater when I don't like a certain recording artist or specifically a certain song that a certain artist has done. And I'm thinking, damn, do I have to like every single song that comes out on the radio? I mean, does that mean I'm jealous of that artist if that artist has a hit record? And even if I have legitimate reasons why I don't like the song, people say, oh, you're hating. No, it's possible to not like something or not want to participate in something or just say, oh, well, that's just not for me. And sometimes I agree with Spike and sometimes I don't agree with him, but I do respect and acknowledge that Spike Lee has these standards and he has a certain level of integrity. There's certain things that he just won't do, and there's certain things that he won't go along with. And he's a little bit different from a lot of people out here in the entertainment industry, because a lot of people will literally sell their souls or go along with anything to be famous and successful, up to and including doing ghetto gaggers. And he's not the type to do that. So in a sense, he's annoying to people and he's put his foot in his mouth on many occasions, but at least he's having some standards in a society where we've thrown standards out of the window. We have thrown standards out of the window. Let's just be real. Let's just be for real here. I mean, look at World Star Hip Hop. Now, are there any standards over there at that website? No. Would Spike Lee have a website like that? Probably not. So I got to give him a little credit, because at least he says there's not anything goes here. This is a boundary that I don't cross, because this goes against my personal beliefs. So I give him a little bit of credit for that. Yeah, he probably should keep quiet. He probably should keep quiet and let everybody do what they do. He had a time when he was at the top of his game as far as the quality of his movies, and that's tapered off a little bit. And I admit that. And yes, I think he does want to get more credit. And Quentin Tarantino's getting a lot of credit. There may be a few drops, a drippity drop here and there of jealousy. Maybe. I don't know. I can't read the man's mind. He very well may be a little bit jealous of Quentin Tarantino. Maybe. Because Spike doesn't really get the credit that he does deserve for having launched the careers of so many people in the industry today, in front of the camera and behind the camera. He put a lot of people to work that otherwise would not be working or would not have the popularity that they have today. And this includes Denzel Washington. This includes Samuel Jackson. This includes Halle Berry. This includes Martin Lawrence. This includes a lot of people who they first gained notoriety by either their first movie being a Spike Lee movie, or either the movie that was the significant turning point in their career was when they did a Spike Lee movie. So that's Spike. Spike is boycotting the movie by not watching it, and I'd be curious to know if there's anybody else out there who is boycotting the movie by not going to see it, and let me know your reasons behind that. That brings me to the next boycott, which is a boycott that was started by Sabrina Lamb. And she has this petition to eliminate the Oxygen Network from airing this TV show about the rapper Shawty Lo. I'm sure you all have seen the trailer for this. It's a show about his baby mamas. I think it's called All My Baby's Mamas. And the show is ghetto as hell. The trailer is ghetto. And they were going to do a 1-hour special on the Oxygen Network. And then they were going to have this as a normal reoccurring reality show. And the show deals with Shawty Lo, an Atlanta-based rapper who has 11 kids by 10 different women. And it just shows all the different types of personalities of the different baby mamas. And it just shows him with his new girlfriend, who is as young as one of his daughters. And I like young women, too, so I'm not going to get on about that. But I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just kidding. But a lot of people are outraged by this. The petition letting the Oxygen Network know that people have had enough of this damaging, stereotypical type of programming. And actually, Sabrina Lamb's petition turned out to be very successful. She got over 40,000 signatures, a lot of press and a lot of media attention. And Oxygen finally decided to cancel the show, even though they were hanging on for dear life, doing everything they could to still air this show. I mean, they really did not want to cancel this show. They were hanging on like the last scene of the movie Jaws. Remember that, when the boat was smashed to pieces and the guy was just hanging on to like a little piece of the boat left, still trying to kill the shark? That was the Oxygen Network. But they gave in to the pressure, and now Shawty Lo is disappointed that they canceled his show. He still wants his show to air. He says his kids are disappointed. He says the show is not negative. He says that people are judging the show based on the trailer, but he says the show is positive because he takes care of his kids. Even though he has so many, he says that he's doing a good job taking care of them. So as a result of this, a new petition has started up to get the show back on the air. And the new petition is on change.org, the same website that Sabrina Lamb used with her petition to cancel the show. And I'm going to read a little bit here from the petition for those people I know out there who want to sign it. I'm going to read from it. The title of it is Oxygen Network Put Shawty Lo and Baby Mamas Back on the Air. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. It says, "It's a sad day in America when people attempt to reject a father that steps up to the plate, a father who is actively supporting his children and their mothers, not just monetarily, but emotionally as well. Shawty Lo is in fact a father figure that most young black men today, coming from a similar past lifestyle and environment, should mimic in his parental role." Well, that sounds all fine and dandy, but in my opinion, I want the show to be canceled, and I want the show to stay canceled. I don't want the show to air. And I know a lot of people now are saying that the show should air, and they're saying that this is the only way that he can take care of his kids. Let me start with that first. Why in the hell is this the only way he can take care of his kids? If doing a reality show like this is the only source of income that he has, he should have never had all those kids. And I don't buy that, by the way. I don't buy that this is his only option of earning money. There's got to be something else. That's just like a woman saying, ghetto gaggers is the only way I can feed my children. I have to do it. I have to do porn. No, the hell you don't have to do that. You want to do it. And there's a lot of reasons why I want this show to be canceled, but I'm just going to mention two of them. Number one, I just think it gives the wrong impression to weak-minded individuals who want to emulate Shawty Lo. I think there's a lot of people that's going to get the idea that they can run out and impregnate a bunch of random women and expect it to all work out, because after all, Shawty Lo is taking care of his kids, even though he got 11 by 10 different women. Maybe I can do the same thing. I think subconsciously a lot of young, weak-minded people do emulate what they see rappers doing, what they see going on television, and what they see going on in the environment around them. And we know the truth that regardless of what this show is trying to portray, it's a nightmare when you go and run out and have kids with a bunch of different women. Generally, it's a nightmare for all parties involved. And another reason why I want this show to be canceled is just simply the negative stereotypical portrayals. All around the world, people are viewing the whole baby mama phenomenon as something negative, not something positive. In addition to this type of show, we got all these other images of black men being portrayed as thugs and pimps and gangsters and hoodlums and just otherwise irresponsible. And yet I hear black men all day online talking about they want to date interracial or they want to date foreign women. But what do you think these foreign women are seeing and thinking about you? Not all of them, but this is the image they get. And they don't really have enough of other types of images of us to balance it out. So this is the world's perception of black men, that we just randomly run around and screw a bunch of women. And we all have a football team of baby mamas and kids and baby mama drama. And this is what we do in our spare time when we're not rapping and robbing banks and playing basketball. This is the world's perception of black men in America. And yes, I'm being a little bit facetious here, slightly facetious. But overall, their perception is negative. Sometimes we take care of the kids, sometimes we don't. That's the image that's being portrayed. And make no mistake about it, I'm not suggesting here that that doesn't exist. There's definitely some high numbers of out of wedlock births in America, period, but in the black community specifically. But the point is that it does a disservice to those of us who are not living that lifestyle. People tend to have that perception of you immediately, whether you're doing it or not. So that's really why, that's two of the reasons why I'm against the show. I don't have enough time to go into the other 50,000 reasons why I don't want this show to be on air. Okay, so you all have to let me know what you think. Do you want the show to air? Do you want the show to be canceled? Let me know in the text comment section and let me know why you feel the way you do. All right, the last thing I want to talk about today, too, as it relates to entertainment and messages being put out, is the hit television series Scandal, starring Kerry Washington as the president's jump off. She's like a black Monica Lewinsky on this show. That's the simplest way I can, I know that's offending a lot of people that love the show, but that's in essence what the show is. I know people are going to run in and say, he loves her. He loves her. They have a relationship. That very well may be, but he is married and she is the side chick on the show. And I guess it needs to be stated that I am not a fan of this show. The premise of the show just really doesn't speak to me. I like to watch Breaking Bad. That's, I think, one of the most groundbreaking shows that's come out in recent years. That's pretty much the only show that I can just watch episodes back to back. That's my favorite show of its ilk. But since I do like shows that are very well written and have great acting, very dramatic, I probably will check out this show. I see that it's the first season's on Netflix, so many people are talking about it. I'm probably gonna check it out at some point soon. But in regards to this article on theroot.com, the writer, she made a very interesting point, or at least she alluded to something that I had never really taken into consideration. And in the article that she wrote, she didn't outright state this, but she alluded to this. Black women, generally, when black women speak about infidelity, that's one of the things that they have a disdain for a lot in relationships, is infidelity. I mean, how many times have you heard about black women in social media or wherever, anytime the subject comes up about men, they talk about men cheating, about how horrible that is, how destructive that is. Black women hate infidelity, except for when it comes to this show. For some reason, they don't have the same disdain for infidelity for this Kerry Washington character on this show. And as we know, they would not be rooting for a character to commit adultery on their spouse if this was a black man married to a black woman and was cheating with a white woman. they wouldn't like that. They would not be rooting for that character, but they root for the Kerry Washington character. They get in front of the TV with popcorn every week when this show comes on, and they sit there and cheer and celebrate and root for this woman and this white man to cheat, and for her to be a home-wrecking asshole, scandalous asshole, as the title suggests, scandal. But yet, when we do it as men, no, that's wrong. Y'all are dogs. I find that to be a very interesting observation that I just had not really taken into consideration. At best, it's ironic. At worst, you could say it's hypocritical. But when have women ever been fair and logical? And I'm saying in general as a group. I'm not talking about all women before the all police shows up. But I just wanted to share that with you all. I mean, there's other aspects of this show that is just, obvious. It's the obvious. It's right now it's a phenomenon of black women trying to get with white men. And this show also celebrates that. And for many years, black women have not been held up as the standard of beauty. And this is a television show where a white man is choosing a black woman over his own wife, who is white. And in a sense, that gives some black women, I guess, a sense of redemption because of not having been placed on the pedestal that white women have been placed on. I could be wrong. You all can share your thoughts and let me know what you think about all of this, because there's so many different dynamics involved other than just being a well-written show with great acting. So that wraps up this edition of the Junebug Report. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, do all those things that the typical YouTuber would say you should do. And I also ask that you pass this around, share this with other people who would probably want to hear this and get in on this discussion. And you are welcome to write to me if you have some ideas, if you have some requests of certain things you would like for me to talk about. I cannot guarantee that I'm going to do it, but definitely send it in to me. You can write to me here at YouTube, or you can write to me at my Hotmail address, which is JunebugObama@hotmail.com.